Welcome back everyone, I'm Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're going to have a couple of new Battle Styles decks facing off against one another. So today we're going to be showing off the new Single Strike Urshifu VMAX and the new Victini VMAX. And both these decks should look pretty familiar. I did cover both of these on the channel already, so if you guys want to see full deck profiles for both of these decks that we're going to be showing off here, I'll have links down below in the description. That way you can go check out those videos as well. But here in this video, we have Haley Brokaw over there on the left. She was nice enough to help me put this video together. She's going to be playing the new Single Strike Urshifu, and I'm going to be on the right playing the new Victini. So I feel like on paper, this should be a relatively even match just because Single Strike Urshifu can one-shot Victini VMAX like pretty easily. But then on the flip side, even though Victini has to two-shot Urshifu, I do still have a couple of cards in my deck that can increase my tank ability a little bit. So I think on paper, this should make for an okay matchup that we have. Looks like Haley's going to first, she is going to get down that Tower of Darkness and she's going to discard. Looks like she's debating what she wants to get rid of here, but looks like she was debating discarding she's going to get rid of a Single Strike Urshifu with it. But Tower of Darkness, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a new stadium card. It allows you to discard a Single Strike card from hand and draw 2 cards, so it can help her hopefully get set up a little bit better here. But here she is going to go for a Pokemon Communication, just kind of deciding what she wants to put back in her deck. She does have a Single Strike Urshifu VMAX and she has Houndoom, but she is going to put back the VMAX. I definitely like that. And here she probably wants to just go for a Houndour. Yeah, so that looks like what she's going to do. She has a Houndoom in her deck ready to go for next turn as well. So yeah, she should have an okay turn 2. Now the only other thing that I think she really wants this turn is going to be an attachment. Because right now she actually can't even attack with Urshifu on her next turn unless she has an attachment for turn already. So here it looks like she is just taking a peek through her deck before she decides to shuffle up. This is the first turn of the game, so she just wants to take a peek through her deck, see what's prized, and all that good stuff. So again, we need to get another look at her hand, but if she does have an energy, definitely want to see that come down. That would definitely be ideal here. And okay, she does have a fighting energy. That's very good. So now she is at least threatening a knockout on this Victini for the next turn. So what am I going to do in response to this? Her having the Houndour and the attachment kind of makes it a little bit awkward to power up this Victini. Because there is actually a world where Impact Blow on the Single Strike Urshifu V just knocks me out. But here it looks like I am just going to welder the 1 to the Victini V. And I'm going to Pokemon Communication, trying to see what I'm going to get back here. So I think, based on my hand, I almost kind of just want to go for another Victini V and just get an energy down that, but it looks like I'm debating the Dene. Okay. So not sure how much I like that. Like, again, because right now I'm in a spot where, yeah, and it looks like I'm debating if that's what I want to do, but I am just going to toss the Dene. But I really don't like that play. This is my first time rewatching this footage. I think I just should have gone for a Victini V, attached an energy to that, called it a day, really. But maybe it was trying to dig to find Big Charm or something like that, because I do have Big Charm in this list. And Big Charm and things like Heat Fire Energy could be a way to allow my Victini to survive. So maybe that's what I was thinking in the moment there. But, I think my odds of hitting Big Charm and a Heat Fire Energy would have been a little bit on the lower side. But basically, what's probably going to happen is Haley, in order to take a knockout, she is going to have to just power up this Single Strike Urshifu V without evolving it. So I basically just want to be able to set up a Victini VMAX on the next turn to have a response to that. Just because Victini VMAX can one-shot the Single Strike Urshifu. So we'll have to see what I'm going to go for. Looks like I'm debating a Talonflame, though. Okay, but here I can see the Victini in hand, so yeah. Just going to go for the Victini V. I am a little bit conflicted. It's been, several days at this point since I recorded these games, so my memory is a little bit hazy about what I was thinking about at the time. But yeah, again, I just need to get set up and threaten an attack from Victini VMAX on the following turn. That's really what I want to do at this point. So I'm going to get down a Heat Fire on the Victini V on the bench. I do like that. Now, I could have used Energy Burst to soften up this this Urshifu V, but I think going for Spreading Flames is probably just a little bit better this turn. But here it looks like I'm debating going for a Quick Ball, but I don't think I need to. So I'm just going to use Spreading Flames. That's going to be the first attack on Victini V. Allows me to attach up to 3 Fire Energies from discard to my Pokemon. So again, basically just saying, hey, if you knock out this Victini V, I'm going to probably have a VMAX to respond with to take a knockout on your Urshifu. So Haley does need a few things this turn. I would like to see her get down another Single Strike Urshifu V. But here she is going to discard her other Tower of Darkness and draw 2 cards. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so she has a Single Strike Energy in hand. Probably would assume that will come down on this Urshifu. That would make sense. She also has a Communication and Evolution Incense, so I imagine we'll probably see her use that to get down another Houndoom. That would make sense. Or even another Urshifu. I think that's also fine. Okay, so it looks like she's just going to play both at the same time there. So let's see what she's going to grab. Looks like she is going to go for another Houndoom. I do like that. And while she's in there, she is going to use that ability on the new Houndoom. Houndoom is going to be a very crucial part of her deck. It allows her to search her deck for a Single Strike Energy and attach it to one of her Single Strike Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon whenever you attach it. So Houndoom is definitely going to be the lifeblood of getting this guy powered up. But Single Strike Urshifu V is surprisingly kind of like a decent attacker even without the VMAX, just because it hits for 180 and you can't attack next turn, kind of like Zacian V. But with 2 Single Strike Energies, you hit for 220, which is pretty good numbers. It's definitely going to knock out this Victini V. And she does find another Single Strike Urshifu V, so this is actually not a bad little turn that she's going to have. She's going to set her board pretty well. Yeah, getting 3 Houndours in play, that is fantastic. And then from there, she just kind of wants to see an Urshifu VMAX next turn and maybe a Jar of Vitality. That's one of the only other things I could really see her hunting down here. But yeah, this definitely looks to be a solid turn she's going to have. And then from there, I imagine we'll just see her take a knockout with Impact Blow and probably pull ahead in the game here. So let's see. Not sure if she has anything else she can do. I would imagine so, but we'll see. Alright, she does have an Urshifu VMAX, but no point in really evolving into it just because it won't be able to one-shot this Victini V. Okay, so she is just going to take the knockout and get the first 2 prizes of the game. Pretty good prizes as well. She gets a Jar of Vitality and a Quick Ball. But here looks like I am going to go for a Quick Ball. Going to go for another Victini V. This is going to be the one from the new Battle Style set. This is just a one-of I have in the list. I definitely, most of the time, prefer the one from Sword and Shield base set. Okay, so I'm going to get down Giant Hearth, and that is going to allow me to bump Haley's Stadium, and she's out of stadiums now at this point, so my Giant Hearth is going to stay in play basically the rest of the game. Now, I did whiff a Victini VMAX, so it is important that I dump my hand here with this Dedenne GX and try to find a VMAX, and it looks like I did find one. So yeah, pretty much what I want to see here. Gonna have a pretty strong response to Haley's last turn. The only thing I think I would have wanted is maybe like a reset stamp to add some extra insult to injury. But yeah, just gonna take a knockout on this thing. And my Victini is actually in a really good spot right now, just because it has 310 HP by default, which is okay, but Single Strike Urshifu VMAX can actually pretty easily deal with that. But thanks to Big Charm, that's going to bump it up to 340, and with Heat Fire Energy, that's going to be 360. So even if she has all 4 Single Strike Energies on her Urshifu VMAX, she is not actually going to be able to take a one-shot. So very fortunate I was able to find both pieces of making this Victini tank a little bit more. But this is definitely the turn where she does start attacking with the VMAX, I think. Just because the VMAX, it can hit for 100. That's enough to soften up Victini. Okay, so she's going to get her Urshifu VMAX in play. She does have Jar of Vitality, so I definitely want to see her get that down as well. And she seems a bit conflicted about what she might want to do. She does have a quick ball. What I would almost like to see here from Haley, she has a boss's orders in hand. And the first attack on her Urshifu VMAX can hit for 100. And Dedenne is weak to fighting, so what I'd kind of like to see her do is just go for the boss, accelerate some energy to her Urshifu, and Debe change and try to hit into her other energy she needs. Okay, so she is going to play Jar Vitality, very important card for her deck. She gets to shuffle 2 Single Strike energies from discard back into her deck, and right out the gate there you can see she is going to... Oh, but it looks like she's going to forgo the Urshifu strategy this turn. So it looks like what she wants to do is just get down an energy on this Houndour, and then from there soften up this Victini enough that way her Urshifu can come in on the next turn and finish it off. So if she's not going to boss, this is definitely the play I like the most here. Okay, there's an air balloon coming down. So there's Marnie. Again, I think I would have rather have seen the boss come down. I think she had decent odds of getting what she needed to make a KO happen. So let's see what she's got going on here. I think I saw the Single Strike Scroll in her hand. Okay, it might just be a Single Strike energy, I'm not sure. Oh, I think I know what we're talking about here. She played Jar Vitality, and I'm not sure if she shuffled her deck. I think that's what we were talking about. Yeah, I think that's what we were discussing. Because she played the Jar Vitality and then immediately took the energy and attached it to the Houndour, but didn't shuffle the other one back into her deck. I think that's what happened here. So here we're just backtracking. Make sure she shuffles her deck before she Marnie's there. And so yeah, we're just trying to figure out, make sure she has the right cards in her hand that she's going to put at the bottom of her deck. And I think that looks right. That seems fine. But yeah, let's see what she's going to get. She would definitely like another Houndoom. Basically just another Houndoom as support for next turn. I think that's about all she can really ask for. And an attachment per turn as well, of course. So she's going to get down a Stone Fighting Energy. Okay, and she's just going to come in with the Houndour, and she's going to be able to use, I think it's Bite for 40 damage thanks to that Single Strike energy, increasing her damage output by 20. So let's see, that's going to knock this Victini all the way down to, what, 320 HP effectively? So next turn she does need 3 Single Strike energies, but she will be able to one-shot this Victini if she does so. So here it looks like I am going to thin some fire energy out of my deck with that giant heart that I have in play. Of course, if you guys need a refresher on that, just discard a card from your hand, search your deck for 2 fire energy. And I do have that Welder in hand to go right along with it, so I could just throw those energies down the field. But it looks like I'm going to be eyeing down boss's orders in my discard pile. And yeah, that does look like what I am going to be going for here. Yeah, and then from there, I can get the first hit in on this guy. And so one thing that's really annoying for Haley here as well is that that energy is now stuck on the Houndour. So it might be actually a little bit tougher for her to get all 3 Single Strike energies that she needs. So let's see, she has a Marnie in hand. I think she has an Urshifu VMAX. She has a Vitality Jar. So kind of an awkward situation here. So she has a quick ball. She's debating what she wants to do with that. Looks like she might be thinking about getting rid of probably the basic fighting seems good. I don't really want to see her discard the Urshifu VMAX though, because I think she's already discarded 1 if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, you can see she's a little bit conflicted about what she wants to get rid of here. She's probably just trying to thin for the Marnie, or she's trying to maybe go for a Crobat or something like that before she commits to this Marnie. But I think one issue she has here is that she kind of needs another Urshifu this turn as well. So yeah, she's a little bit conflicted. I don't know if she has any more Single Strike energies in this card. If so, I definitely want to see her play the Vitality Jar. I'm not sure how many fighting energies are in her discard either, but that could potentially be a resource that she discards. You know, she might just be overthinking it too. It might just be fine just to go for the blind Marnie. I think there's definitely, you know, there's definitely some incentive to thin a little bit just because she does need 3 very specific cards. And I'm not sure if she's prized any either. So that also could be a factor if she does get this KO here. So she's going to discard the VMAX. Okay, so now she only has 1 left, I'm pretty sure, assuming it's not prized. So let's see what she's going to do here. She could even grab, I saw Jirachi GXs in her deck, but here she's just going to go for the Dedenne. Okay, so I think maybe I see what she's trying to do here, where she might be thinking, well, if I go for the Dedenne and I whiff what I need, I might still be able to pull off a boss play. So I kind of want to see her also go for the... Yeah, I kind of wish she would have gone for the ability on Houndoom first, because she really can't afford to draw into multiple Single Strike energies. That's kind of the one issue she has right here. Okay, there's going to be 1. That's a good start. And here she did draw into another one. So that is actually, you know, one reason why I kind of didn't want to see her do that. Oh, okay. If she actually has the switch. That's really good, because what she can do here, she can actually switch into the Houndour and discard that other Single Strike energy. Because again, she does not want that in play. She wants that in the discard. That way she can use Vitality Jar to shuffle it back into her deck, which means she'll be able to, you know, potentially accelerate it with Houndoom. But here, again, I kind of wish she would have accelerated a Single Strike energy before doing anything else. Okay, I think she whiffed though, unfortunately. That's a big whiff. No Houndooms or anything. No ways at searching out Houndoom either. See, that's a big yikes. So it looks like she is going to go for another Single Strike energy. But the issue she is run into now, it's almost kind of like a checkmate scenario where if she leaves this Houndour active, she's going to be in a really bad spot, because then I only need 3 more prizes to win, meaning I only need to knock out an Urshifu VMAX. I think she either attacks with Urshifu this turn, or she just retreats into Dedenne. I think those are her options. And it looks like that's what she might be favoring. I'm not sure what exactly we're discussing here. Oh, but it looks like she might be thinking about the Houndoom. Okay, I kind of like that as well, because if you guys aren't too familiar with Victini VMAX, it hits for 100 plus 120 if the opponent's active is a Pokemon V. So right now, Victini actually can't even knock out this Houndoom. So I do have a Tool Scrapper. So that's actually really big, though. Yeah, that's really big. Haley really needed this turn to where I couldn't take a knockout. That way she could have another turn to accelerate enough energy to knock out this Victini VMAX. So that's actually really big. And I also just used the new Billowing Fan item card as well. That allows me to put a special energy from her field back onto the bottom of her deck. So I took that Stone Fighting, got rid of it there. So now she's going to be another attachment behind. But I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue for her to come back from that, just because she has energy acceleration in her deck. So let's see what I'm going to opt to do here. Okay, it looks like I'm going to get down a Heat Fire on this Victini V. So even though Victini VMAX only needs 2 energy to attack, I might just be thinking about, I might need to power up another big beefy Victini that can tank a hit. So that's probably what I'm thinking about here. So it looks like I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to Giant Hearts, so probably just trying to thin my deck a little bit here. Just because I have a Pokemon Communication in hand, and I believe a Switch, if I'm not mistaken. And here it just looks like I'm going to use Spreading Flames. I can't knock out this Houndoom either way. So what I'm trying to do here is set up my board to be in a spot where I can maybe attack with Heatran GX as an alternate attacker. Because if I top deck any Pokemon, I can communicate away for a Heatran, and Heatran can do just enough to knock out this Houndoom while only giving up 2 prizes. So that's kind of my thought for the moment. And I'm not sure how many switches Haley has gone through. That's another thing. I know she's gone through at least 1. And I think she does have a switch in hand, if I'm not mistaken. So, okay, she's going to attach a Single Strike Energy. And if she has Switch in hand, which I think she does, it's kind of hard to tell. All those gold cards all look alike. Oh, actually, I think it's a Quick Ball. I thought that was a Switch. But yeah, she's just going to have to pass, so that is unfortunate. And I top deck a Welder, which is also pretty big. Because if I can just draw a single Pokemon, if I can attack with Heatran, that's going to be really good for my deck. Okay, so it looks like I am in a Welder. Going to attach to the active, because if I do have to hard retreat here, I can at least keep my Heat Fire energy this way. So what I think I'm going to do here is just communicate this Crobat, and I have a switch as well. So I'm pretty sure this is kind of like a checkmate scenario at this point, because I can go for a Heatran. It looks like I'm debating about Cramorant. But if I have Heatran, I mean, I should definitely just go for that instead. Yeah, so there's going to be the Heatran GX. So Steaming Stomp is, not its best attack, but it's really good in this situation because I can come to the active, take some energy off of my other Pokemon on my field, and then from there, do 130 to knock out this Houndoom. And no matter what, I can deal with this Urshifu VMAX that she has as well. So if she knocks out my Heatran, I have Victini VMAX to fall back on, or even Victini V can take a knockout at this point because its second attack hits for 120. So yeah, just a couple of really unfortunate whiffs on Haley's part this game. As you can see, she only had 1 Houndoom this entire time, and I just don't see a world where she comes back from this. I think the only way that she makes something happen is if she has a way to power up this other Single Strike Urshifu and knock out this Heatran. But I think she might. I'm not convinced she has enough Jars of Vitality at this point, but there's going to be the Marnie. Oh, and she is going to attach to this Urshifu on the bench first, so that makes sense. Yeah, and still no Houndooms in sight, so yeah, the end of this game really did not go Haley's way. She is going to be able to take a knockout, go down to 2 prizes, but again, we have this Urshifu that's just heavily damaged at this point. And Victini can come in, hit it for 220, and that is going to be game 1 in this series. So yeah, kind of an unfortunate series of events towards the end of that one. Haley actually started out pretty strong between her first couple turns, but just after that, luck did not go her way there. But we are going to do a best 2 out of 3 series, so Haley definitely still has a shot at bringing this one back. Since she did lose game 1, she will have the choice of going either first or second. I think I want to see her go first with this deck, though, just because even though Single Strike Urshifu V has a great attack if you're going second, my deck is in a weird spot where I can just knock out a Single Strike Urshifu V on my second turn. So I think she has to go first, even though she would like to go second and use that strong laser focus attack that it has. So I think her ideal turn 1 is going to be 2 Houndour, Urshifu, and an attachment. Okay, so let's see what she has in hand. We see a Dedenne. I'm not sure what she ended up starting with. We'll find out in just a moment, I would assume, though. Alrighty, so she's going to start a Houndour to my Reshizard. Okay, there's going to be a communication. She's going to put back a Dedenne GX. So I'm actually not sure how much I like that, because she really wants to get at least another Houndour in play, because Reshizard can potentially get a turn 1 KO. So I kind of wish she would have gone for putting the Jirachi GX back in her deck and then Dede changing. Yeah, I think that's definitely what I would have preferred to see here. Because again, she wants just one more Houndour down in play. That's the big thing. That way she can attack next turn. Okay, there's going to be a Single Strike Energy. Yeah, so really not... Oh, and it looks like she was trying to research. Okay, so maybe that might have been a misplay on Haley's part then. She forgot she couldn't research. So I actually think... Yeah, definitely should have gone the Dedenne route, because now, as you can see, I'm going to Welder 2, attach 1, and now I can just take a knockout on this Houndour. And I'm threatening a KO on this Urshifu V on her next turn as well. And yeah, now Haley is just, she has an immense amount of pressure just beating down on her at this point. So I almost think she has to go for the VMAX, I want to say, just because that can tank a hit here. But she's going to go for the Houndour. I mean, that's also kind of okay. She technically has the same odds of drawing into Houndour or the VMAX off of this research, but I definitely want to see her just evolve into the VMAX. That way she can tank this hit from Reshizard and potentially take a return KO with the Single Strike Scroll on the following turn. That's what I really want to see from her this turn, if possible. Okay, so she has the VMAX. That is a great start. She has Capture Energy. Okay, so she's bouncing back a little bit. It's just, I think it was definitely a little bit of a misplay not going for the Dede change first turn. So she's, as a result, she's just kind of on the back foot right now, which I'm sure isn't too fun for her. But from there, probably just going to see a pass over to Haley, or pass over to me from Haley, I should say. Okay. So here I can, looks like I'm going to communicate a Fion away. So let's see what I'm going to go for here. Maybe VMAX? Yeah, looks like I am just going to go for a Victini VMAX right out the gate here. That way I can start setting that guy up. Okay, and looking at my hand, I definitely have a few cards I could play. I have a Crobat, so I'm going to want to play that down at some point as well, too. Okay, I'm going to go for Eldegoss, it appears. Okay, yeah, I think I remember what I was going to do. I was kind of worried about the Single Strike Scroll. So what I'm going to do here is just hard retreat. That way I can use Fire Crystal, get all the energy back, and then just Welder again. So yeah, going to do that. And now this way I can get a hit in on this Urshifu and have a little bit more HP in the process as well. This at least forces Haley to have a couple of Houndooms, and I do find a Big Charm as well, which is really big. Alrighty, so I am in a quick ball. What am I going to go for? Going to go for another Victini V. I think there's even a world where maybe I go for Fion and just knock out a Houndour. I think that's also kind of valid. Because Haley still technically can knock me out. It is possible. Because if she gets all 4 Single Strike Energies in play, she can actually knock out this Victini VMAX. So it looks like she's thinking that's probably not going to happen. It looks like she's eyeing down attaching to that other Urshifu. But I gotta say, I think I would just go all in, because if she gets that, that's just so massive for her deck. Okay, but it looks like she's thinking about just... I'm not sure how much I like this in hindsight. Because if we just run through the math on Single Strike Urshifu VMAX's second attack, does 270 plus 20 for each of these Single Strike energies. So again, with one, that's going to be 290, then 310, then 330, then 350. So yeah, she should be able to do that. Well, maybe she has one prized. It's hard to say. I'm not sure what she has access to in her deck. And did she draw another Houndoom? That's like the next question, because if she didn't even draw a Houndoom, it doesn't even matter, but... I mean, she did draw Quick Ball, so there is a world where she could have kept digging to make this happen. Yeah, he was just kind of on the back foot. I think this is definitely a turn where she really needed a big swing in her favor. Now, she does still have the Single Strike Scroll, so she's going to be able to put a good dent into this, this Victini this turn no matter what. Okay, she's going to Quick Ball another VMAX here, so... let's see what she's going to go for. Oh, I think she was going to go for Houndoom. Yeah, I kind of remember this game, actually. And then she realized she didn't actually have any more. She prized her other two. Or other one, I'm sorry, because Reshizar knocked out one this turn. Or on turn one. Yeah, so that's a big feels bad. Especially because she probably would have liked that VMAX for the next turn as well. Alright, so she's just going to get a Jirachi GX out of deck just to thin it. So yeah, this game not exactly going Haley's way, I have to say. She's been facing a lot of pressure. You know, basically as soon as my first turn, so... And here it looks like we're just talking about her using the Single Strike Scroll that she has attached there. So I can't tell exactly how much damage is on Urshifu. I think it's 240 because of the damage from Houndoom. So that's 250, so 290 I'm pretty sure. Alright, so what do I do in response here? I think ideally I want to power up another attacker. I think actually maybe attacking with Victini V is probably the right way to go here. Because it could evolve into the VMAX, but there is definitely a world where Haley can get a return KO on the VMAX. But if I just attack with the V, even though it's probably going to get return KO'd, it only gives up 2 prizes. So I think that's kind of the route I want to go here. So just remember, Victini V, still also a solid card even on its own here, has the Energy Burst attack. 2 fire, just 30 times the amount of energy on both active Pokemon. So it looks like I am going to discard a Welder here and just go for a Dead change. So kind of curious what I'm going to be digging for this turn. I'm really not exactly sure. Okay, wanted to get a Heat Fire energy down on the Victini VMAX. I guess just in preparation of attacking next turn. Okay, and now I've kind of put Haley in kind of a weird checkmate scenario where, like, she can evolve into the VMAX and knock out this Victini V, but she has to discard all of her energy to do so. But that's honestly kind of what she has to do at this point, because this Urshifu is not going to survive more than likely. You know, I have a pretty decent sized hand after that KO, and I just need a single energy to knock this guy out with my VMAX. So she has an Urshifu V. Does she have another Houndoom even? I'm not sure if she does. Okay, there's Vitality Jar. That is definitely a good start for her. Okay, so of course she can get 2 Single Strike energies back in deck. She does have a Crobat and a Dedenne, so she can still draw some more cards, which is good. And I'm not sure what we're discussing here, but yeah, I imagine she wants to accelerate one of those. Okay, that seems good. And she has a Crobat in hand, but I kind of just want to see her Dead chains because she needs, well, I was going to say she needs another Houndoom, but the issue is she has a Houndoom prized, so... But either way, she still needs to keep that bench space open for Houndoom eventually. Okay, so yeah, she probably recognizes that, and it's just going to go for the Dead-Eye change instead of drawing cards with Crobat first. So let's see, she needs a Houndoom this turn and a Single Strike Urshifu VMAX to get this KO. Now, if she can make this happen, she is actually still in this game. So she does have the Houndoom. Does she have the VMAX? Oh, and she does not. That's actually really heartbreaking. Because she's definitely able to, you know, get this guy powered up and nuke this Victini, but the issue is she doesn't have the VMAX to go with it. Because I was going to say, if she took this KO, I would probably come up and do 220, but then potentially she could take a knockout on my Victini VMAX that's heavily damaged as well. And then it's just like, what do you do at that point? Well, I guess if I have boss's orders, I win either way, but I'm not sure if I have access to that. Looks like I have a research in hand. Oh, I do have boss, so I actually have game either way here. So that's slightly less heartbreaking, I suppose. But yeah, Haley is going to at least be able to knock out this Victini V, grab herself 2 prizes. She did put a good bit of damage on the board, but yeah, unfortunately she was not able to clean up that KO on that VMAX earlier in the game. So here can just attach and just take the KO on the active Single Strike Urshifu. So unfortunately for Haley, kind of a sad end to the series there. What's actually kind of a bummer too is that we played some games just to get some practice in before we started recording, and she actually annihilated me with the Single Strike Urshifu. Kind of a bummer that you didn't get to see the Single Strike Urshifu deck firing off on all cylinders, but either way, I hope you guys still enjoyed this look at these early Battle Styles decks. And like I said too, if you want to see the full list for both decks, I'll have links down below in the description so you can check out the deck profiles for both of these here. But if you did enjoy today's content, smack that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications, all that good stuff. And if you can, consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or pick up some merch at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.